Hi everyone, this is Sandy Reese with StampinCrew.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Thanks for joining me today for another live video tutorial. I have a fun project we're going to do today using our Stampin' Brayer. So I've done one or two, and these are ones that I had done for a brayering class. And today I'm going to be using, once again, the Thoughtful Moments Hybrid Embossing Folder, which comes with this great folder, has lots of sentiments in it, and then we have a die set that cuts them out at the same time. If you can do two things in one step, I am right there. We're also going to use the Fern 3D embossing folder, but we're going to use the reverse side that we would normally get. Instead of having an embossed card, we're going to have a debossed card, so our main image is kind of sunk down into the card. All right, let us get started. These are both, by the way, carry-over items, so this will all be available in the next catalog, which I'm really happy about. Okay, let's get our supplies. We are going to use, since we're doing a fern, it's kind of greenery. I'm using a sheet of garden green cardstock for a card base. And I'm looking for my bone folder. Okay, here we go. And then I've cut it, hot dog style, so it's 4 1/4 by 11. And then I have a sheet of soft seafoam. I love this with garden green. You would think soft seafoam would have more of a blue tint, but this has a little more of a yellow tint to it as well, and the garden green does too. So these two go really well together. I have a piece of white for the inside. I'm probably not going to stamp that. We're doing a Get Well card, and I like to just write on the inside of my Get Well cards. Okay, this is for a sentiment, and then I've punched oval with the modern oval punch out of Early Espresso, and I have a little bit of linen thread. So let's get started. We're going to start off by doing our embossing with our embossing folder here. So normally I would just put this in, run this through, and then this would be raised. The front would be raised, but I want where my image is raised over here. So we're going to take our garden green ink, move that out of the way, and let's ink up our brayer. Apologize if my camera's moving. And we're just going to go over here. So you notice just the fern parts are raised. I got to get kind of down in there for some because it's 3D, so that the images, some are more raised than others. But I want to get down. It's okay if I get a little extra where I don't want it, but I want to get down and make sure I get all that fern part inked up. There's a little bit right there. I get a little on my edge to help me get my brayer down in that image. Okay, I think that's good. All right, so let's put that away. We're going to carefully lay our cardstock on top, close up our embossing folder. I'm going to run this through my die cutter, my upstairs die cutter, we'll say. And I always put the folded part of the embossing folder in first. I'm gonna run this through. That's not very straight, so let's straighten that out. Okay. If your plates aren't straight, it gives you some grief going through it. Okay, I'm gonna set those aside because we'll need those again in a minute. All right, so that's normally the front, but we're gonna use the back side. Isn't that cool? It has that great fern effect. Now, if you want it the opposite, where your ferns are lighter and your background is green, you would ink up the other side of the embossing folder, but that's not what we're going for today. So we've got this, and when I emboss things, I usually like to use my liquid glue. Whoops, before I do that, let me stop myself. I want to put some ribbon on. I'm going to put it right about there, so let me just put my glue here. Sometimes because seal adhesive is pretty strong, I have a hard time with it kind of tearing the back of my paper. So I like to use liquid glue on embossed pieces of cardstock. Okay. I didn't put any glue where my ribbon is, so I can go ahead and tie this since I had already started gluing. All right, we're just gonna tie it in a bow. Let me scooch it over just a little more. Gonna tie this in a bow right about here. Okay, cute. All right, let's, we've got it glued to our card front. Let's glue our inside in just to get that out of the way. Whoops, out of control. I just do a little bit of the glue. You see me doing that all over, but not much glue is coming out. So it's a very light coating of glue. It doesn't need much. If you put too much, you can see it and it kind of bubbles under your paper. It makes it, you know, bumpy where the glue is. All right, now I have a piece of, let's take our punch piece. I'm gonna glue this down because I'm gonna pop up my sentiment. And this will also kind of help keep our bow in place. Get that glued down. All right, let's do our sentiment now. Let me clean this off. I like to keep these little microfiber cleaning rags in my craft room because they don't leave lint and they clean and pick up really well. Okay, we're going to use espresso for this one. And what we're gonna do is on this Stampin' Up! Logo side of the embossing folder, we're going to brayer this. And I'm just doing the Get Well. This is the part where, the side where the words are raised on this one. It was on the back side of the other embossing folder. So I am just going to ink up my Get Well. Is that coming off? I can't tell. It's very light. There we go, it's a little better. This is an old ink pad. I have my other espresso ink pad in my already box for class. You guys know me. I only have half my supplies upstairs at, in my studio at a time. Okay, now we are gonna lay our embossing folder, or our die cutting, with cutting side up on here, and I'm trying not to touch my word. I'm just trying to get it right where it needs to be. Wiggle that until it gets in place. Okay, so if you can't wiggle it, it's ready to go. Now I'm gonna put my words right on top. We'll close that up. Let's see if we can get this through our big shot here. Got a little paper sticking out. Hopefully that won't cause a problem. Oh, that's tight. That's okay. Okay. So I'm going to pull this out. Oh, my word fell right out. Right there, we have Get Well, and you can see that it's outlined in the espresso, which is what I want. And then, oh, my tape has come off. Everything's going everywhere. Keep my paper down so I make sure I stay in screen. So here's the Get Well. I'm going to take my dark soft seafoam blend and I'm going to use the small tip, and I'm just going to color in the center. So this is kind of fun to add a little extra level of color on your sentiment. This one's nice because it's a little bit bigger than some of the other words in the set. So I'm just coloring my raised edges, or my raised area, which makes it a lot easier too. Okay. hard to talk and color at the same time. You're trying to stay in the lines. Okay. We're going to use a couple dimensionals. I'm just using the little mini ones. This isn't very big. We'll do 3 though. If you're doing 3, do it kind of in a triangle so it's a little more steady and secure. I'll add that right in the center, fits perfectly. And then I'm just going to come in and grab on these sequins. These are the neutral sequins. I'm going to use the dark brown, or the bronze, I guess is the color, but I love these things. You can see my gold's gone. The gold is always the first to go. In the fall, I like to use the copper, but I also like these bronze, so it's really pretty. Let's trim a little bit off of our thread here. It's a little bit long. You can leave it long if you want. I usually don't like to have it go past the edge of the card though. And that's it. Isn't that pretty? It's such a nice, subtle get well card, but it's got some wow with the different techniques that you use. All right, I hope you enjoyed today's project. I will post a link on to my blog that has all the measurements and supplies I used. Don't forget, when you place a $50 order this month, you're going to get a gift in the mail from me. And make sure to check back next Thursday. We'll have our live online card class with an ordering special as well. So I'll be back here Saturday with another video, but I'll see you next Thursday for our live with our April card class. It's kids, very cute kids cards, so you won't want to miss out on that. All right, we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.